unusual dub because Sony's animation style is a very unique blending of CG and traditional cell animation. Very unique blending in that the flaps, for example, are enormously specific. So we recorded at a much slower pace because it was much trickier. The flaps were far less stylized and much more realistic looking, so everything had to fit exactly at time. It was very slow going, but it was very rewarding at the same time, and I actually got to meet Sori, who you know, talked to me for a little bit and said, wow, you actually kind of look like the character. And I'm like, I guess I kind of do. He had glasses and hair very similar to mine. And he has like a God speech where he's like, I'm God, blah, blah, because I play a lot of guys that think they're gods. I will remember always being in the booth with Mike McFarlane, who directed the dub, and I had to scream. And it wasn't a death wail. He died a minute or two after this scream, but it was one of those, I'm going to kill you because I figure I'm about to die screams. Like he's in a helicopter that's crashing, and it's crashing into the heroine, who's like just waiting. It's like the most badass moment. It's like, rah, waiting, and there's this 9-second long scream. Now that may not seem like a long amount of time for those of you that have never tried to do it, but when you are screaming in full voice to enormously specific flaps, and you can see clearly that there is no room for the scream to build, he comes on at the top of his voice and stays there for the entire cut, which is 9 seconds. So vocally, it is the equivalent of drinking a glass of water while standing on your head and being kicked in the balls repeatedly. Never done. Now, Mike McFarlane comes from the Dragon Ball days. He's from the Dragon Ball series. So I'm like, and I have never screamed like this before in my life because for 9 seconds, Jesus. So Mike is like, let me show you what you can do. And he gets in there and makes it look like it's the easiest thing in the world. And you're like, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this. And every time we did 3 takes. The first take was off by 4 seconds. And every time I'm like, how'd I do? 4 seconds off. Go! Drink another glass of water, take another breath, let's try again. The other one was off by like 2 seconds. Every time it's getting closer and closer, and I'm like, I am going to die. And he's like, you only got, this is the last thing you record for this show. So if it blows your voice up, at least you know you don't have to worry about anything else. I finally did it. I finally screamed for 9 seconds in one breath and passed the hell out. All I remember is, and the world went dark. And my body made sure to be conscious for all the very important parts of this experience. I remember only losing consciousness as I fell. I woke myself back up by hitting my head on the back of the thing. And then I just sat there and I looked at Mike and he's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, I'm like, I don't know. Did we get the line? Did we get the scream? He's like, we did. I'm like, oh thank God. Like, welcome to the club. He's like, we've all passed out doing screams like this, so yes. Bryce, how about you?
Well, without spoiling too much of SAO, Kirito has insane screams. I was able to meet the Japanese director, and I asked him, about that experience for the Japanese actor, and he said the Japanese actor screamed so loud and so intensely that he got nosebleeds. To give you an idea of what kind of screaming I was up against. So, there are some gnarly screams. What we would do is record dialogue for the entire session and then save 15 minutes of every session just to scream, to get the right scream. And I had the same thing where I would just, give it everything and be 2-3 seconds short. And do it again, and at the very end, you just hear my scream die. It's the last of my hair. And it's super challenging. So definitely there's a couple of screams in particular that are death-ish screams without giving anything away that were insane. And I just couldn't talk after.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You're ruined.
All for you guys. All for you guys.
But it sounds fantastic.